I walked into the living room and froze. On the coffee table, my laptop was open, streaming our private arguments from last week. Jenna, my wife, sat on the couch scrolling through comments with a smile I hadn't seen in months. "Morning," she said casually, like nothing was wrong. I wanted to laugh, cry, and scream at the same time. How could she do this? Every fight, every vulnerable confession I had shared, turned into content for thousands of strangers to watch and comment on. The worst part? I had never consented. I felt trapped, exposed, and utterly powerless. But deep down, a plan began forming. She thought she controlled the narrative, but the game had just changed. Later that night, I checked her phone when she was asleep. Videos, schedules, hashtags, all meticulously planned. Each post had titles like "Crazy Fight with My Husband" or "Marriage Chaos Revealed." Comments were pouring in, likes exploding. I realized it wasn't random. She was building a brand on my misery. Jenna wasn't just manipulative, she was ruthless. And I had played right into her hands for months. My anger was palpable, but I knew patience would be my weapon. For now, I had to act normal, smile, nod, pretend I was oblivious. The mask was uncomfortable, but necessary. Every hero in a story has a breaking point. Mine was arriving. At brunch with friends, Jenna laughed louder than usual, narrating our funny fights in exaggerated detail. No one noticed my tension. They only laughed, commenting, tagging, sharing. I smiled, but inside I was calculating. Every word she spoke, every subtle lie, would become a piece in my puzzle. By the end of brunch, I had a plan. If she wanted to use me for views, I would give her the content, but my way. She wouldn't see it coming. I started filming secretly, documenting everything, every manipulation, every smirk. The truth would go viral, but this time from my side. One night, I sent her a link to one of her own videos, anonymously. She opened it and froze. The comments weren't cheering her on. They were skeptical, angry, calling out inconsistencies in her story. Panic flickered across her face. "Who posted this?" she whispered, voice trembling. I sipped my wine slowly, enjoying the first taste of control. Every post, every story she thought she owned, was now a weapon I held. And the more she panicked, the more I realized how predictable she had become. The predator had walked into the trap, unknowing. Jenna tried to regain control, confronting me in the kitchen. "Why are you smiling like that?" she demanded. I leaned against the counter, calm, collected. "I'm just tired of being your entertainment," I said softly. She laughed, nervously, a twitch in her eye. "You don't understand," she said. "It's all harmless fun." But I saw through the act. She was desperate, cornered. Every word she spoke gave me insight into her next move. I was cataloging, analyzing, documenting. By the time she realized I had the upper hand, it would be too late. I posted a video, compiled clips of her manipulations, her staged fights, her calculated smiles, anonymously, of course. The response was immediate. Millions viewed it within hours. Comments ranged from shock to anger, but most importantly, people began questioning her authenticity. She was panicking. Every notification sound on her phone made her jump. I watched, emotionless on the outside, triumphant on the inside. Jenna had turned our marriage into a show, but now the show was mine, and there was no commercial break. She begged, pleaded, tried to negotiate, but the audience had already decided. Every plea she made was documented, every lie exposed. I remained calm, speaking softly. "This isn't personal, Jenna. This is the story you started." Her empire was crumbling, and I was the unseen force behind the collapse. Friends and family were confused. Strangers were entertained, and she was powerless. I realized the cruelest form of revenge isn't anger. It's control, patience, and letting karma play its viral hand. Weeks later, She left. Her social media gone, her brand destroyed. I watched the notifications slow, the comments fade. I never posted my identity. No one knew who I was, only the truth. I had survived, controlled, and won. Not with violence or yelling, but with strategy. Jenna had underestimated me, assumed my silence meant weakness. But in the digital age, the quiet observer often wields the most power. I sat back, sipped my coffee, and smiled. The lesson was clear. Never let anyone monetize your life without permission. And always, always play the long game.